Don, you know, a lot of water under the bridge since the time you told me, early 70s, with your hand on your hip and your finger in my face, if you ever come around any of my daughters, ever again, I'm going to have my husband come down here and he is going to beat the crap out of you. She didn't use crap, but same meaning.
Well, you didn't take my message at all. You married one.
So, look, thanks for coming, everybody, and a lot of love in this room. And you feel it. Thank you from the Wood family. I can't remember the day I met Kathy, but I do remember as she came into my life and all of our lives, it was kind of changed forever. Pretty dynamic personality. And I've known Kathy since, you know, right around early high school days or late grade school days. So, knew her well and loved her. And as you all know, she was a wonderful, loving person, great sister, mother, daughter, and grandmother. So, here it goes. I'm not going to sing, by the way. I know you want me to. So, in the early years growing up, going through high school, if you think about Kathy, and you think about what she was and how she was smiling, happy, ready for anything. And I can't do this without saying that she pretty much had all the qualities desired by the superficial male. And she did, up until present day. So knowing Kathy as a child, as a young adult, it was really a privilege. And I look back upon it fondly. As we were growing up, and as we got out of school, got out of high school, first thing that comes to mind is Jesse came along. And Jesse, right over here, Kathy's son. Right shortly after that, Brian, my son, came along. And they kind of grew up together. We had Jesse a lot, and Kathy had Ryan a lot. And being a fairly overprotective parent that I was, and Donna too, there wasn't a whole lot of people I'd leave Brian with or trust him with, but I always knew that if Brian was with Kathy, that it was good. Note to self, don't look at Brittany. Because then, after Jesse, came Brittany. And cutest little girl in there. And Brittany, she didn't fall too far from the tree, and didn't fall too far from Grandma Don's tree, because when I think of Brittany as a little girl, I always come back to the time that she was over at the house, and I was working nights, I was kind of crabby and around the house, and her and Donna had crap all over, and they were playing, and I'm like, come on, you guys, I gotta get some sleep, or whatever it was I was saying. And I remember that little girl turning to Donna and saying, do you have to be married to him? So, and then came Chelsea. Chelsea, the last smartest girl I've ever known. And now Chelsea works for Donna. And that's kind of how it all works. So, if you think about the impact, is that for me?
Oh, I was hoping mine would.
Oh,
okay. Someone did.
I'm sure I'm not here. So if you really think back and think of the legacy that Kathy, left, it's definitely with the kids. but she had a lot of friends too. And in our adult life, we kind of stray from our friends somewhat. Not, they're not still friends, but we don't see them as much anymore. But Kathy had a few friends that she was with through her entire adult life. And one I really need to mention was Sue. I see Sue's family back there. Sue and Kathy were really close. And when Sue got sick, Kathy was there for her. And she was there for Kathy through a lot of times too. And in the end, Kathy was there for Sue. And she was there for Mike. And from that grew a relationship with Kathy and Mike. And it was a beautiful one. And just today, Mike said, make sure that you say that I loved her madly. And he did. And she loved you too, Mike. And when Kathy was sick, and Kathy in the hospital, not just family around, but Mike was there too. Every day, right to the end. That was a beautiful thing. See a lot of people in here that have affected Kathy's life. I know she's affected theirs too. And I gotta say, one sitting right there is Norman. Didn't even look at Brittany. You know, I spoke personally with Kathy about Norma. Norma's Jesse's grandmother. And man, what an influence you were on her life. An example, always there for her. Sheila. And I know you loved her too. Really great. So in Kathy's adult life, having her friends, always loving children. Another one that comes to mind that I just got to mention is Taylor. She loved you. And the other one here is Jana. Kathy and Jana were close, really close. And through it all, through Kathy's sickness in the end and her personal problems, Mike was there, and so was Jana. Always. Jana's more than a friend, she's family. Love you. Thank you. And you just think back, and you think of the footprint left, and you think of the friends and the relationships that she had. It's really a testament to the love that she had and how she embraced her friends and her family. And if I could, or if any of us could, leave that same mark, the same friendships, same relationships with family, I'd be proud of myself. And I'm really proud of Kathy. We'll miss her dearly, but when you think back, just remember Jana's still here, Mike's still here, Norma's here, and the whole family. So if you're thinking of Kathy, you feel bad, you can pick that phone up because we're all in the same boat. We're all feeling the same thing. And the great words of Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that. So, then that brings me to, I got a couple letters here that I want to read. And it is to my dear daughter, Kathy. It says you'd be amazed at the love so many people have shown and given since your passing. I thought of all the yesterdays, the good and the bad. I wish I could relieve them, as I tried to in my mind. I wish I could have said goodbye and kissed you just one more time. But now at last, I know you're free. No more stress, no more pain, no more sorrow, only love. An angel came down and took you by the hand, said they only take the best, and you're the best. And I've got one more. And this is from Donna. And from Donna's words, these are to my sister, Cathlene Wood. When I think back on our childhood up until now, I always come back to the same thing. But I'm so I'm so proud that you were my sister. There are so many things to write down, but the main ones, the most important ones, come down to 3. And that's Jesse, Brittany, and Chelsea. How you raised them and how they've turned out. Jesse was a little boy who always asked a million questions. But at the family meeting a couple weeks ago, there was no questions from Jesse, but he had all the answers. Brittany, the beautiful young woman she has become, taking charge in the hospital, standing over you every minute you were there, talking to you, holding your hand and brushing your hair. And Chelsea, smartest young woman I've ever known. Your potential is limitless. You may not have always got along with your mom. You may not have always seen eye to eye. And the reason for that is so obvious. You're just like her. I miss you so much, but I take comfort in knowing that a part of you lives on through them. Okay, so I got through that, and I challenged everybody out there. They have the guts. Come on up and share a story about Kathy. Share a memory, because this is really about loving Kathy and celebrating her life and celebrating her legacy. And I'd really like to see some of you come up and share some stories if you'd like, and if not, and I'm waiting.
I've been dating Brittany for a little over 4 years now, and my favorite memory of Kathy would probably be the first time I ever talked to her, which was over the cell phone and a little threatening. I had met Brittany while I was working and somehow finagled her phone number out of her trying to sell her a car. And when I called and said, hey, I I'd really like to take you out. She said, my mom won't let me. And I said, your mom won't let you. And Kathy got on the phone and said, who are you? And I said, well, I met your daughter and I would like to take her out. I think she seems like a really nice girl. And she said, there's no way in heck you're taking my daughter out. I said, well, what do I have to do? And she said, well, who's your mom? I said, who's my mom? I said, I don't know, my mom's my mom. And I was like, do you want to talk to my mom? She's like, I might. I said, okay, well, so I gave her my mom's number. She never called, but I finally got the okay to take Brittany out, and I had to go meet her at her house and meet Kathy. And I'll never forget, we were out having ice cream, and Brittany gets a call from Kathy, and I'm like, oh no. And she says, give Shelby the phone. And she goes, where are you? And I said, we're just having ice cream, we're just talking. She goes, oh, ice cream, huh? And I said, well yeah, ice cream. And she goes, oh yeah, that's where she takes all the boys that she doesn't really like. And I said, well, I think it's going well. And she goes, yeah, well, you'll find out tomorrow. And that's how I got to know Kathy. And from there, we got really, really close. And Kathy was one of the most caring people that I have ever met. I remember getting frustrated with Kathy saying, why don't you focus on yourself for a little bit instead of others? And she said, why don't you mind your own business? So Kathy was a great woman, full of love that we all felt, and I will miss her dearly.
Because like I said, Kathy had all the qualities desired by the superficial male. This was probably in the late 70s, early 80s, and we were having a barbecue. And Kathy was there, and we were out on the back deck having a drink or whatever it was we were doing.
Come on, man.
And my dear sister Kathy and my brother-in-law Rod were on their way over, and when they arrived, and like I said, we were on the back deck, sliding glass door shut. And Rod wasn't blind. He's a superficial male, like all of us. And Rod sees us on the back deck, and it was hot. We were scantily clad. And here comes Rod, and remember, he looks and Kathy. And he's walking, I mean like that. Head first, boom! Right into the sliding glass door. Permanent forehead, nose, and chin implant right on the window. It was beautiful. Sorry, Rod. Buddy?
Yeah. Okay, buddy, I forgot who you are.
I need to. I'm Charlotte. This isn't about me. I'm married to Donna.
Okay.
I'm married to Donna.
It's been a while, Stacy.
I know.
I can't remember anything. The only thing I can remember about Kathy is one time we were at this place, which I won't mention because it'll. You went there. So we're at this place, and she came in with
Mike.
Mike. Okay, where's Mike? I want to see him. Yeah, that guy right there. Okay.
We were in that wretched place.
Yeah, and she was playing. We were having lunch, dinner there, and had a few drinks, and she came in with Mike, and they went back in the back room there and played the video poker machine, and she won the jackpot. You know, wow! And she came out, said hi to us, and and guess what? So she paid for our drinks and paid for our meal. She's a sweet girl. I don't recall seeing her much, so I wasn't that familiar with her. But what a sweet girl! No, but great girl and a great time we had. And it was really a pleasure to have her pay for our meal. Okay, well, thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming. This is the greatest thing that ever happened. And Kathy would love every minute of it. And we love every one of you for coming. Thank you.
We have a straggler.
If any of you know me, you know speaking in public is not my favorite thing to do. And I don't have any cute stories, but I just want to say that I'm married to Rick, Kathy's brother, and growing up, I always wanted a sister, and I was blessed with 4 with my new family. And Kathy was, passion just comes to mind when I think of her. She was one of the most passionate people in everything that she did. She just had so much life and energy, and she will be missed greatly, and she made me feel part of this family, and I'm so thankful for that.
Hey, well, I'm Taylor, Rick's daughter, and Kathy, she's like my second. She was like my second mom, and like when I was little, her home was like my second home. I spent. Sorry. I spent a lot of time there, and when we'd always go on vacations together. And some of my recent vacations that we did together, that me, my grandma, and my friend Chelsea, we went to the beach, and we'd always go to Canita and stuff. And Kathy, like, she was just always there for me. And like when my parents were splitting up, she was always there for me. And she told me, she's like, whenever you need anything, just call me. And so that's what I would do. Even if it was late at night, I'd call her, and she would always answer for me. And her and Brittany were like the 2 people that I trusted to tell anything to, because I knew that they would always be there for me. So, and I love Kathy and miss her dearly, but we all know that she's in a much better place.